It's important to belong. Belonging has become one of those buzzwords that we hear all the time, but I think it's critically important that we at least think about it and what it means to our teams, our organizations, society at large, those we come into contact with. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. I had a recent experience in Denver a month ago. I was going in to keynote an event for a company. They flew me in for the weekend. They flew my wife in. Sunday night before the event, they had a dinner with a number of folks from the company that they'd invited, as well as several of us guests. Right at the beginning, we met a man named Andy Janning. Andy was going to be emceeing the event the next day. I had a chance to be around him a little bit during the day. Hysterically funny, really enjoyed him, was quick to introduce my wife. One of the things that happens to me at events or dinners or cocktail parties or whatever is that people often want to chat with me because I've had some unique experiences. They either want to talk about my Super Bowl ring and see it, or what it was like to be in the coach's box at the Super Bowl, or what it was like to play for Steve Spurrier in college, or getting to know Tim Tebow and hang out in his house and write his book. What was that like? Or being not on the David Letterman show, but at least in the background while Tony Dungy was on, or at the Tonight Show, and some of those experiences and what those were like. And I get that. But Andy, after going through a number of those questions and getting to know me, Andy turned to my wife, Amy, and said, "Okay, are you looking forward to Nathan's talk tomorrow?" And she said, "Well, actually, I won't be here for it." And he said, "Oh, why not?" And she said, "Well, I have to get back for work." And he said, "Oh, where do you work?" And she told him. And he said, "Have you been there long?" And she said, "Well, I have, but then I've just taken on these new responsibilities." He said, "Tell me about those responsibilities." And they chatted for a while. And he said, "Okay, has that been your background? Have you always been in that line of work?" And well, no, it wasn't. And well, tell me a little bit about homeschooling and some of the other things, and really delved into a number of things. And in that moment, Amy went from being included to belonging, to being a part of it. And what's ironic is, of course, that Andy was also a guest brought in by the company, and the company did a wonderful job with everybody we met thereafter, also making both of us feel like we belonged. But Andy, as a guest, conferred that sense of belonging on another guest. It was remarkable. And so then we were done with that, and it was time to ask Andy what he did, and I realized, I really didn't care. No, Andy's got a great backstory, really interesting, and has a mission that he's really passionate about, and I'm going to put a link to that in the comments as well. But the takeaway here is how important it was to give a sense of belonging. And are we doing that in our teams? Are we doing that in our organizations? Are we doing that with people we meet? Is everything transactional? Or is there a sense of getting to know the person, building a relationship, even in a short period of time, and delving into what makes them tick, and letting them walk away with a sense of, hey, I was an important part of whatever just went on there, and I belong in that setting. Thanks. Have a great day.